What's up, Ollie and Sandy?
Hi, guys.
Hey, it's one of my favorite things to do. Meet up with you guys, okay? It's a great day.
It is. It's a wonderful day. And today we're going to be discussing the questions that a lot of the listeners have had about SEO, which is really, really interesting. We're going to be covering about 11 questions. So it's going to be a pretty quick, rapid fire discussion. And I'm sure you've gotten this a lot too, right, Sandy, about SEO?
All the time.
So we're going to kind of dive into it. And one of the first questions I wanted to ask, Ali, that they have asked us is, could you explain why SEO is particularly important for dental practices today?
Sure. So real quick, SEO is search engine optimization. It's a process of optimizing your site and web presence to help you rank higher organically. I could do a quick screen share and show you how that looks in 1 second, just so you have an idea. I search dentist near me. I have the Google ads, which are the sponsor. That's not organic. That's not SEO. Then we have the Google map listings. You could consider that local SEO, local business optimization. And then we have the organic listings. So based on my location, I'm getting guys in my city. I'm getting ZocDoc, Yelp, and some of the big boys that are doing ads, and their sites are up there. And then we get the local dental results. So that's kind of what SEO is. Some people love that word. Some people hate it. Some people feel like they've been ripped off with SEO. Some people feel like it's a value. It's a very, guy in the garage, your patient that doesn't know anything about marketing says, I know how to do SEO. So it's one of those things where you have to be cautious who's doing it, if they know what they're talking about, because anyone and their grandma could say, I know how to do SEO. They'll mess up your site, your web presence, and then you're back to square one. So number one is do your homework. If this is more of a do-it-yourself SEO type of thing, then of course you have to pay attention to your website, or if when you're hiring someone else, you have to ask the right questions, and hopefully this video will help explain some of that.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's going to be interesting because I feel like that happens a lot. Like maybe somebody, their cousin, uncle, or somebody knows SEO, they mess it up, or you know what I mean? Something happens.
It's not even they mess it up. They just don't know what to do. They think I'm going to go buy 10 links from this directory, and that's called SEO. And, it doesn't do anything. So we'll go over the important things, what matters. It's about the user. It's about the visitor. It's not about what, keywords you're stuffing and whatnot. But we'll get into that in a minute.
Okay, nice. So then for a dental practice just beginning to focus on SEO, what are the first steps?
So the first steps are getting found. So in SEO means someone goes to Google and they search. So just think of yourself, think of people, think of the prospective patient. They're going to Google and they're searching dentist near me, or toothache, or Invisalign, or something of that nature. Or they've been referred by a friend, a family, and insurance. So either they'll go to Google and search your name, your friend referred you, they'll go to Google. So not only do you have to be found for your own name, your practice name, which are common sense. It sounds basic, but a lot of people don't even get found for their own site, their own name. So if you get referred and someone Googles you and your site doesn't come up, or your Google profile doesn't come up, then you get, lost opportunity there. So it's not just about rankings and who's top and who's number one. We're going to go over that because that's one thing that people obsess about with SEO is I want to be number one. And there's too many factors to make that your only gauge of performance. And we'll get into that in a minute. But SEO is important because people go online, they search your practice, they search your services, and you want to get found. If you don't do proper optimization, you might not show up.
Okay. So the first steps in a nutshell.
Have a website, look at it, make sure you as a patient would want to use this website if you were looking for a dentist. That's step one. Step two is optimize it properly, which means make sure you have the correct content. If it's a dental website, it's got to have dental content. If you want to be found for teeth whitening, it's got to have teeth whitening content, or else you'll never get found. If someone has 10 pages on teeth whitening about, in-office bleaching, teeth whitening at home, Zoom, core, all this stuff, they're way more likely to get found than you just saying, I do teeth whitening in one sentence on your homepage. So it's got to be just like in your office, you want to be found for a certain case. You want to be the implant dentist. You want to be the go-to Invisalign provider. You have to make those things known. So show those on your website, and also have the proper keywords and tools there to help you get found. There's no rocket science behind it. You don't need to go pay thousands of dollars for a technical analysis of your website. Just Use your website as a user. Is it good? Is it someone? Would you like your own website as a patient? If the answer is yes, great. Then go look at the keywords, your content, your services. That's a good way to start.
Okay, interesting. I noticed you mentioned keywords. So how should we approach the keyword research? Especially like, for example, we're like, hey, I want to be known as the best dentist in Baton Rouge, right? Or I want to be known the best dentist here. Do we just write a bunch of articles that say the best dentist?
Yeah, I'll show you my screen again to go over that point you're asking. So what keyword research do you do? So you don't need to pay for fancy tools. You don't need to get SEO companies that are going to charge you for analysis on keywords. It's super basic. Go to Google, search root canals. Let's say you want to get found for root canals. Here's all the suggestions: root canals cost, root canals near me, root canals causes, root canal symptoms, root canals before after, root canal fillings. Scroll down, see the competitors, who's showing up for root canals, what are they doing? Then look at the related searches. Here's the other ways Google tells you to: root canal symptoms, root canal recovery time, root canal before after, treatment steps. This is the type of content you want to add to your website if you want to go get found for root canal. So again, Google is your best tool. Competitors are your best tool. What others are doing are your best tool. Go to Google, search, look at the suggested keywords, look at the other related searches, and from there you'll have 5 topics that you could focus on, whether that's content, video, whatever it is. You'll have 5 good keywords to go after. And those keywords could be, you have 1 page for your before afters, 1 page about symptoms, and so on. Depends how deep you want to go with one treatment.
Interesting. Okay. So in your experience, what have you seen people use for keywords when it comes to, like, I just want to be known as the best in the local community, right? Like most closest near me, dentist near me, right? Or
Okay.
best dentist.
So every dentist wants to be found for dentists near me, just like you want to be found for whatever it is. That's the number 1 keyword. Everyone in the same radius wants to get found for that keyword. Great. Go after that keyword. The first step is put that keyword on your title tag: dentist near me in your city, dentist in Ohio, wherever you are. Those tags have to be properly placed. The keywords have to be on your site, and your overall website thing. This is like, Google is smarter than it was 10 years ago. You don't need to necessarily say this keyword and this. It knows you have a site, it's dentistry related. You have a lot of content around Invisalign person. Let's say the users are staying on your Invisalign page, they're finding it. That tells Google this is a good site. Now you're moving up the rankings. It's not about who has the most keywords or backlinks, or those are just small factors. There's too many factors. And one of them is mainly having a good site that has the proper information, that does a good service to a user trying to find that service through a Google search.
Interesting. Any questions on your end, Sandy, or no?
No, he's doing a great job of explaining.
All righty. Wonderful.
Yeah.
So then when it comes to local SEO, is there a difference? What's the difference between SEO and local SEO?
So I'll go back to the screen share for a second. Local SEO, if I Google emergency dentist in College Station, Texas, local, a lot of people would like to call it the Google Maps, Google Places, Google Business. There's 100 different names for it. This would be your local results. For example, this is our client. She's showing up for teeth whitening and emergency dentist. She's also showing up organically. So you would consider this an organic listing. Sometimes you show up on the map. Sometimes you show up organically. Sometimes you show up on one. Sometimes you show up on the other. You're at the mercy of Google, but you could do steps. For example, I search emergency dentist. Google is even looking at the words of the reviewer. It says emergency and it's picking that up. But just to that point, to say there's no rhyme or reason, sometimes I search emergency dentist. The first result is our client, but it pulls up the word cosmetic. Has nothing to do with emergency from the review, but it's still the first ranking, and her site's ranking well. She has an emergency page targeted to her city, talking about same-day appointments, really trying to convert that. So to my point, if you look at this search and you look at this search, cosmetic dentist College Station, again, she shows up. There's no word about cosmetic here, but she still shows up. These guys have the word cosmetic in their title tag. So this is organic, local. This is organic as well. Search engine optimization deals with all of this. There's 100 other factors. Your reviews is a big factor. Don't think you can have 0 reviews or bad reviews and be the top of the map. It doesn't work that way. You could see all these guys, 500 reviews, 300 reviews, 300 reviews, 600 reviews. This guy has 1 review, but he's showing up. Good for him. Again, there's a lot of different factors. The guy that has probably 500 reviews, if we go to more places and we look at this guy, he has 1,800 reviews, but the guy with the 4-star average and 1 keyword is ranking above him. That's why you should not obsess over rankings. There's too many factors. It'll drive you crazy. You'll never be happy. You'll always call the SEO company saying, why am I not over page 1? Why am I? If you're going to fight over rankings and positions like 2 or 3 here, it's just going to be something you'll never be happy with. What you should do is gauge the traffic, the calls, the performance, look at it in 6 months and see, hey, I hired these guys. I had 100 visits organically. Now I have 500. My phone calls are increasing. This is working. Or else every day you're going to go to Google, type yourself into oh, I'm not page 1. I'm not. That's all you're going to focus on, and you're never going to be happy.
Yeah. Interesting. If we can leave this up real quick, Ed, if you're listening on the podcast, if you want, you can watch this in Dental Gumbo, the actual screen share. But A1, or there's a practice 4 stars with 1 review that's above a practice that has 5 stars, 1,800 reviews, but it's above it, right? So I guess what Ali, you're trying to let us know is the positioning is don't obsess over it at this point, right? Once they click it, that's where they're going to start making their conversions and
exactly. So one factor could be domain age, right? This guy's domain might be 20 years old. This guy's domain might be 1-year-old. That's a factor, right? A 1-year-old guy could spam the internet real quick, try to get rankings, but that guy has been there. His domain's been there. He's been consistent instead of emergency. So it's not always, who's paying more, who's got more reviews, who's stuffing better keywords. There's a whole, go to Google and search ranking factors. You'll drive yourself crazy.
Okay.
I have a question. Do you ever see doctors put their competitor as a keyword?
I've seen that done on ads more, where you do Google ads for your competitors' names, and I guess you could get away with that.
Yeah, I had that done to me, where this consultant, when I Googled my name, his business came before mine. And I see that done with other consultants using my name. I don't like that. And I was just wondering if dentists ever did that.
They do with the ads. I've heard about that with the ads. So I think you're talking about Google ads. You don't really see someone organically putting a competitor keyword or info. I've seen let's say comparison pages with other types of businesses like Docsites versus X company, and there's a page there, but not really in dentistry. There's plenty of fish in the sea. With your business, I could see why someone would do that. But with dentistry, focus on good service, getting reviews. And if your competitor is using your name, be flattered.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I agree with you. I was just curious.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now, Ali, what are some common mistakes practices make on their websites that hurt their SEO? And then maybe how can they fix it?
It's a great question. Yeah.
Sure. So one question is, who's doing this SEO? Is it the practice? When we're talking here, are we saying the practice, the common mistakes? Who's making these mistakes? Is the doctor doing their SEO? Is the front office staff playing with the website? Is this a marketing company? So these are good questions to ask yourself. Is this info is all great, but how can you apply it? Who's going to apply it for you? Are you doing it? Is your staff doing it? Or are you hiring someone? So answer that question, and then these answers could apply. Let's say you're doing it yourself. Most cases, they're going to set it and forget it. They're going to do one thing. Okay, put some keywords, put some content. Great, beautiful. They'll never look back. 2 years will go by, and they're wondering why their SEO doesn't work. SEO is something that has to be constantly done. If your site is next to a competitor's site, the competitor is spending every month putting stuff about Invisalign, their before afters, and you're just not doing anything, they're always going to win. So someone that's making a decision on a high paying case, they're not just going to click the first ranking on Google and say, sure, this is my guy. They're going to click, 10 of them, 20 of them, call them, vet them, ask for reviews, whose staff is the nicest on the phone. That's another thing. SEO is just getting found. We've talked about this 100 times on your show. SEO is getting found. The website and your web presence and your reviews and all that will help convert them. And once they're converted and they pick up the phone and call you, how are they getting in the chair? That's where the sale is made. That's where your staff has to get them in the chair. And that's where you have to get them to accept the treatment. SEO is like 4 steps before this. SEO is a fraction of your marketing. SEO is not the end all be all. SEO is not where you should dump all your money. SEO is just a piece. It's a piece of your online. Google Ads is a piece of your online. Social media is a piece of your online. Offline stuff, flyers, word of mouth, postcards, billboards. That's marketing. SEO is just a tiny piece of this. Don't throw all your eggs in the SEO basket. You won't be happy.
Okay. And just to be clear to the listeners, you can help with SEO, but you can also help with Google Ads.
Of course, we could do Google Ads. We could do SEO. Both of them are search engine marketing. Search engine marketing is broken down into 2 pieces. One is paid ads and one is organic. Paid ads are quick. You pay Google per click. SEO takes time. You have to earn those rankings and those results. One is you're paying for it. One is you're earning it. If the faucet turns off with the Google Ads, business is done. Whereas SEO pays off for a long time. You could switch companies. You could try different vendors. You could do it yourself. If the concepts are kept in place, the foundation's good, you're never going to lose those rankings.
Okay.
So
That's
sorry,
really good
to answer your question, the top mistakes that practices make are setting it and forgetting it, not making their reviews and their service a priority, because that plays a big part in SEO. Your Google Maps, getting a phone call. If I Google dentist near me and I see 10 listings, you have 1 review and the other guy has 300 and he's 2 places under you, I'm going to go click that guy. So would you. So it's not always about top position. It's about a lot of other things. Don't just focus on the ranking.
I agree.
Bad websites don't have a bad website and pay money for SEO or spend a lot of time on SEO, because then the conversions won't happen. Yes, you'll get found, but who cares if you get found and you have a bad website and you're scaring people away? You're just losing that traffic. So get found, convert, and then close the deal in the office.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Something that came up was about mobile devices. Now, people search for a dentist most likely, would you say, on mobile devices, like on their phone, right? They're looking it up. So does that have to do a whole separate, I mean, how important is that mobile optimization? And do we have to do a whole separate SEO for that or no?
No. So maybe, I don't know, 5-6 years ago when mobile first started, it was like you have a desktop site, you have a mobile site, you have 2 versions. Then Google started calling your mobile site versus your desktop site, and you had to basically play with 2 sites. Now it's responsive. The websites adapt to your screen size. If I change my phone this way, the website shrinks. If I put it in my car on a tablet, it just conforms to your screen size. So yes, focus on mobile and a good mobile experience. Let me show you, since I'm sharing my screen. Again, the data and stuff is all there, and you could drive yourself crazy looking at data, but I just want to give you an example of a live client website. If you go to his analytics, you'll see 65% is desktop, 33% is mobile, 0.3% is tablet. If you go look at this a little deeper, you'll see that the mobile guys typically hang around longer than the desktop guys. So it's a combination of both. I say like 50-50, 60-40, vice versa. It's almost half mobile now. So as long as your website's looking good on mobile, it has a click to call, it has an appointment. If you don't need to, zoom and pinch and do all these things to get in touch with someone, and your website's ranking organically, it will also rank on a mobile search. If you have a bad mobile experience, yes, Google may not rank you on a screen search or whatever those little things are, but there's so many minor things that people focus on versus the major things, the basics, the good website, the good reviews, the proper pages. Everyone goes and focuses on screen size, page speed, loading time, all this stuff. First, see your website. Would you use it as a patient? If the answer is no, forget all that. The SEO companies, that's all they do. They're going to send you reports. Your page speed is slow. Your metrics are this. You have an F grade. Okay, we have an F grade. Let me show you our #1 ranking. If you get that kind of report and you're interested, instead of saying that, say, please show me 10 of your clients that are ranking well. And that's what I want to see. I don't care about the dashboard reports and the page speed and all this nonsense. It's not nonsense, but it's used to sell you, and you should know better between falling for those tactics versus covering the basics on your site, having a good site, good reviews, good team, great service. Those are the things that matter. If I improve the page speed by 3 seconds, my business won't change. But if I train my staff to get reviews, my business will change. So don't get stuck on these analytics and these reports too much. Yes, look at them, have an idea, but it's all internal tracking.
Okay, that's interesting. That's good. That's good to see that the analytics part is
Yeah, to answer your question, mobile is very important. Make sure your site's mobile friendly. Click to call, click to text, click to all the modern stuff you want to do.
Gotcha. Interesting. One of the last questions I wanted to ask you was about content. Now, if you can make this in the most simplest form, Ollie, the type of content you have found to be most effective for practices looking to improve their SEO? And if it can be like, well, this is the top 3 or top 5 pieces of content that you want to duplicate.
Content to have on your website is the content for whatever you want to be found for. If you want to be found for Invisalign, have Invisalign content. If you really want to be the Invisalign person, have a page for Invisalign costs, Invisalign before afters. So keep building that content. Does it have to be super unique technical content that someone sits there and writes for hours and you pay a lot of money for? No, it doesn't have to be, because most people are not going to sit there and read all this text. They already know what Invisalign is, but Google will read it and you want to be found for it. So let me show you an example. So for this keyword, Invisalign treatment, the client's showing up on Google. If Google business, another thing, back to the local results, Google lets you keep your profile up to date. There's rumors of it going away and there's rumors of AI search and you have to have 100 reviews, and that's fine. That will come sooner than later, but the foundation, the concepts are all the same. Good site, good content, proactivity. So Google lets you post every month. Make sure you keep your Google. That's another factor to help your map do better, is keeping it active, adding a photo. In fact, straight from the horse's mouth, go to Google. Even Google themselves will tell you how to improve your ranking. Watch their video. It says complete the data, add photos, manage reviews, respond. All this stuff is out there for you. You could do it yourself. You could pay someone to do it. But the point is, it's got to be done. You have to be proactive with it. And my point with all these, and now back to your content question. When you Google implant dentist in Norwalk, California, this client does not show up on the map. So like I was saying, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. However, he's the first organic result. When I click there, and this will answer one of your later questions about videos, he has videos on his site. The video shows on the Google search result right here. When you click it, he has a little video on how implants work. But more importantly, he has a video of himself on what are implants, how much do they cost. This is good content. This is stuff someone will see and someone will call you for. Anyone could write, the same generic stuff on what implants are, but the point is, have the content, optimize it, have some kind of call to action. Oh, no insurance, request an appointment, check out our reviews, request now, call now, all these types of things. And this type of content will go a long way. And yes, video results work. So his videos are showing here. Some people go to YouTube and search. So having videos also helps you get found. It creates another avenue. It creates embeds that you could put on your website. And someone would much rather click a video than to read a boring paragraph about what implants are and how they help.
That's true. So when possible, always have video.
When possible, but most practices don't have the resources to sit there every month and do like implant videos and what they are. But if you do, yes, do videos, or hire a crew one day to come to your office, do 20 videos and spread that out across the year. Just 2-minute videos. My approach on implants. Why come to us for Invisalign? Happy patient saying you changed my life. All those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
You could do this on your iPhone. You don't necessarily have to have a group come in. You could just put your phone on landscape mode, set up a little light and just talk. Sit there with your cousin who's also a patient and say, let me go over this, iTero with you sitting here. Let me tell people how better it is than that gunk in your mouth. And that's the stuff that sells people. Generic stuff doesn't sell people. Generic SEO doesn't sell. SEO is just getting found. When you get found, what's going to make someone pick up the phone? Not the paragraph on keywords about implants. It's you, it's your practice, it's your reviews, it's your approach to implants.
I agree with that.
We kind of discussed a little bit about the metrics right now, right? And you said don't focus so much on the small things. Is mainly what you want to focus on is what?
Focus on a good web presence, getting found, putting content out there regarding your services. But yes, you should measure. We have Google Analytics on all our websites. Couple of things, you don't have to go digging into this too much. Just here's the basics. Here's my user acquisition organic search. In the last few months, we've had 992 organic visits, of which they went through this many pages, etc. What are those pages? All right, they went to the homepage, the doctor page, the new patients page, the associates page, the contact page. These are good pages. We're targeting emergency, it's the top 10. We're targeting teeth whitening, it's the top 10. This gives you an idea of how it's working. You go to your search console, you see all these keywords, laser dentist, periodontist. Okay, this is working. That's how you gauge your results. You can't go into day by day on Google and search and check the rankings. Look at your report, tell your SEO company or yourself or your staff, whoever's doing it, install analytics, look at the first month. I had 100 organic visits, and then look at it in 6 months, and now you have 200. And look at it in 2 years, and now you have 300. That's how it works. SEO is incremental. It's not overnight. It takes time. You have to earn it. It's super saturated. People have abused it. People have gotten ripped off over it. People hate the word in some cases. Like a lot of dentists, like they feel so weird way when you say the word SEO, and every company does it different. Some companies still buy links or do link backs. There's something called on-site optimization, which most of our topics covered on-site, making your site good, proper keywords. There's some off-site techniques too, which are like getting reviews, getting on some links, but the links are better to go to your local chamber of commerce or the school that has all the dentists in the area, or the pediatric. Your efforts are better to go to the local school and put a table there and pass out your flyers than it is saying, I'm going to improve my page speed and spend thousands of dollars on some technical nonsense that won't do you any good, but maybe move you up one ranking. And at the end of the day, SEO is just a fraction of your marketing.
Gotcha. Okay. So this kind of covers a lot of the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, one of the last questions is, what advice do you have for dental practices to stay motivated and consistent in their SEO efforts over time? Because I know Sandy and I have seen this where we've seen people complain, right, Sandy? And then they're just like, forget it. I don't even care about SEO anymore.
So are these people that have worked with other companies? Are these questions coming from people that are doing it themselves? That would be a good way to get a more accurate answer. If it's the do-it-yourself person, they might love SEO. They might love working on their car every night after they do dentistry. That's different. But if it's the guy that's already busy doing dentistry, why are you doing it yourself? Why are you playing with your website? Why are you paying your staff that doesn't know how to answer a phone call to play with keywords? Reprioritize your business. Find a company that you trust that's not going to lock you in 2 years, whatever it is. Talk to them a few times. Get a free analysis. Do a web assessment with me and work with another company. I'll give you unbiased feedback. Do your homework, because if you want to do it yourself, great. You just got to be consistent. If you want to have your staff do it, great. Just make sure she knows what she's doing or he knows what he's doing and it's not taken away from their day-to-day, unless they're dedicated to be your internet marketing department. Also, they got to know how to close the lead, follow up, chase. Another issue is get an inquiry. I have a toothache. Susie calls once. Next day, that guy's gone in the trash. You got to call 7 times for that person. So my advice is track internally. Don't just go on Google and obsess over rankings. Ask your team or whoever yourself, I'm doing SEO for 6 months. Let me look at my results on day one. By results, I mean organic traffic, number of calls. Make sure everyone asks, where are you finding us from? Oh, Google. You know, Susie is now saying I'm getting 3 people a month saying Google. In 6 months, she's saying 10 people a month. That's how your SEO is working. It's not about, you could be the best ranking. If your appointment book's empty and no one's saying they found you on Google, it doesn't matter. You got to get your reviews up. You got to do a lot of these other things that have to do with it. There's no magic pill. There's no shortcuts. There's no SEO company. I'm sure you've heard, oh, my guy works with Google and he has a secret of like secret sauce. There's no such thing. I've been doing this for 16 years. There's absolutely no magic pill to SEO. There's no shortcuts. Yes, there's technical elements that should be addressed, but most basic WordPress sites, you know, Squarespace, even those do-it-yourselfers have basic SEO tools. So, you know, focus on your business, focus on showcasing your practice properly, focus on good content around your services. And SEO is just the consistency of being proactive online.
Right. Any final words for this episode, Sandy?
Contact Ali. These guys are pros. I just really appreciate the explanation. I think there's a lot of misunderstoods when it comes to SEO. And you have a lot of knowledge.
There's a lot out there. There's a lot of different ways to do SEO. I'm not saying our way is the best. It does work. I'm showing you live results of our clients. If another SEO company approaches you with analytics, dashboard, page speed, all this fancy grades and reports, say, great, thank you. Now show me 10 of your clients that are ranking well on Google. Let's see what they say after that. And then you can see if they're worth it.
Yeah. Well, all I have to say, my final words, I'm so glad I found you.
Thank you.
I'm glad I found you.
I'm glad you're giving us this platform and your audience. You know, you have a great audience, and thank you for putting us in front. We're here to help educate and not sell. This is not a hard sell. You could call me. I'll spend 1 hour with you on the phone. We'll do a screen share. We'll look at your practice, your competitors, their offers, their reviews, give you some good feedback, and then you could decide if you want to do SEO at night after you do dentistry, or you want to hire someone, or you want to dedicate it in-house some other way.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So if you do want to partner up with Docsites or reach out to them or get the free assessment, then definitely go in the show notes below, click the first link in the show notes below, and you also get an exclusive deal just for being a listener of the Dental Joe Bits podcast. And if you want to talk about this episode, come on the podcast or submit any questions, then you can do so by joining our Facebook group, Dental Gumbo. So thank y'all so much for tuning in. We'll talk to you in the next episode.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.